Yes, ma'am.
About to
You
turn
get
my
it when you go live. Okay. Boom, waiting on notification. Here we go. And we are live. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to a very special edition of Off the Record on the People's Podcast this afternoon. We have an amazing guest with us, one who I'm very humbled and honored would take time out of her busy schedule. And that's Sister Shonta El Muhammad. First of all, assalamu alaikum, ma'am. We have an amazing
Walaikum
guest with
salam,
us.
sir. How are you?
I'm doing fine by the grace of Allah. Now, Sister Shonta, you have watched me and my siblings and many people grow up, and we have known you our entire life. It would seem like our entire life. What is it about you that has such a good relationship with the youth? Like why are you drawn to youth so much?
Hmm. Why am I drawn to the youth? I guess I have a big heart for the misunderstanding of the youth. I feel like they're
Mm,
misunderstood, I guess, in our community so much so because as parents, as aunts, we get so focused on our walk in righteousness and in Islam that we forget that we were once youth trying to find our way as well. So I can kind of relate to being a young person because I grew up in a very strict Christian home and an upbringing. So yeah, I kind of relate to the youth in that sense where they're held to a standard where they're misunderstood and parents just don't relate to them.
okay, yes, ma'am. My sister Miriam says assalamu alaikum as family, like salam being me. Okay. Now, Sister Shante, the type of work that you do in the community now, what type of work is that? And how can we be supportive of that type of work? How can we support you in your efforts?
Okay. Well, right now today, I will go back to pre-COVID. The work that I was doing, excuse me, I don't know if y'all heard that. The work that I was doing prior to COVID was I'm a part of, I have a mentor program. It's called Classy Girls Wear Pearls, where I I took the 7 units of the MGT and I reconstructed them to fit young people, girls 8 to 18. And we wrote them up. I became, it became a program in the housing projects of Tampa. And it became such a success to it became a grant program. So it's been implemented in several housing projects.
Mm,
So I am the visionary behind that program. And we were able to get it granted and get it staffed and become an after school program for our young girls and teach them life skills around 7 principles, which I recreated around our 7 units. So that is one program. Currently, due to COVID, we have shut down all of our programs. We only opened up one, and my program is still closed at the moment. Um, I do keep in touch with them via Zoom, and so that is one way. One thing I am right now um, working in the capacity of a job developer where I take my training as a Muslim and as an MGT and as a Vanguard and take putting all of that training into my day job and just assisting our people throughout the day becoming stable and sustainable in their households. So I know a lot of us frown on pushing our people into the enemy's workforce, but I guess it's a blessing having me in this position because I can basically, listen to them, empathize with them, also teach and train them. Um, our people, although they definitely need someone in their homes, that can show them different directions. So a lot of the people that I serve, the families that I serve, did not want to go back to work. Even though they were laid off, they wanted to become entrepreneurs. So I had to redevelop programs to help give them new skills as opposed to transferring their old skills to help them to become on a new, to go to a new plantation. So we have a lot of clients that are new business owners out of COVID. And I want to say I had a lot to do with that. They were able to take those unemployment checks, instead of becoming a menace to society, which a lot of people don't have the financial literacy to manage their money. I was able to bring educators in to teach them how to do that, as well as collaborate in partnership with people in our community to teach them how to invest their money and run their business and become new YouTubers so that they can learn how to generate passive income. So just those little things.
Excellent. Yes, ma'am. And my sister Miriam says all praises due to Allah.
Praise be to
And so do you mean to say that the people that we may know in Tampa or have family members and friends in Tampa who are struggling to get work during this time, can they reach out to your program, or can they reach out to you to help get some jobs, because we need people who need some careers?
Yes, they can definitely reach out to me. That is what I do by profession. I am a person that's what I do by profession. I connect our residents and clients with employers that create opportunities and education for people. When it comes to our community, I am definitely available. I'm working right now. Someone came to me throughout in our small group. I don't want to put his name out there, but I was asked to assist. So hopefully we are working on a project within the believers here so that I can be more available to the family. So yes, if someone is relocating to Tampa, I can definitely help navigate them to those opportunities. I have access to a plethora of industries, and the rest is up to them.
Beautiful. Praise be to Allah. Now, I've been to Tampa, and I've been into some of the nice neighborhoods, and I've been to Clearwater, and I've been in that area. But I've also went to some of the worst neighborhoods in Tampa. With some of the brothers, we were trying to let people know that the minister was coming, and we were in some rough neighborhoods. Tampa has a crime rate, and you are working in the housing projects. Are you ever fearful? What makes you keep going back to like such a hood environment?
Well, again, pre-COVID. um, First of all, I am a believer, and I'm taught that when these are still our people, and of course, my directors, I work around a lot of men too in my department, and when I was hired, one of the things one of my panelists said to me was my predecessor was a man, a presence, but there are some things that he did that you know they wanted someone else to do different, and it was told to me they wanted someone who had presence. Of course, he was 7 foot tall. I'm not 7 foot tall. But I do come with a distinctive, I guess, presence that apparently put me in this position. So what I do know is, although I am used to being in an environment where women are not protected, I still have a job to do. And one thing is, I'm very aware of my surroundings, and I put those type of security measures in place when I'm out in the community. I make people aware of where I'm going at all times. Um, I have access to company vehicles. And plus, I'll just tell you a story. One time I didn't have access to an assistant, someone to escort me. And it was obvious that I didn't belong or live in that neighborhood. And I had to make contact with the resident. So I'm not afraid of our people. Regardless of what people think of me, I'm not that bougie. However, we've been fishing from door to door. So I think that's a skill that I learned in the nation that comes in handy when I do my job, when I go out among in the community. So I had to get out the car, and the community was flooded with brothers. The soldiers was out. And I did at first, I felt a certain discomfort. I'm gonna be honest with you. Discomfort come among me, but I was like, these are your people. So I got out the car, and I heard one of the brothers say, "Oh, she's with so and so." He named my agency. So I was like, okay, they already identified me. So, so I walk up, I approach, and I just go, "How y'all doing, brothers?" I just called them brothers just to let them know I come in peace, And they go, "How you doing, sister?" They returned the greetings. One brother even told me Assalamu alaikum. I didn't even know they knew who I was. I didn't even have a headpiece on. I didn't have a garment on. Y'all see, I'm be honest and straightforward. Y'all see some of the pictures I post. I'm not looking crazy. However, in my environment, my head is not covered, but I'm not taking for granted that they don't know who I am. They're out there, and we have brothers in Tampa. Tampa is a huge Muslim community. They may
Mm-hmm.
look like the next, you know, regular soldier on the corner, but they are heavily influenced by Islam here. So although I felt a little discomfort at first, I still had to seek refuge in Allah because I still had a job to do and I still had a family to reach. So with that being said, it made an impact on me that they were not there to harm me. Actually, when I got to the door of the family, they was like, "Oh, she ain't home. She'll be back though." They were helping me out. And sometimes
Okay.
they'll look out for my car. They'll be like, "Don't park right there. You might want to park right there." So it weighs itself out. It weighs itself out. I'm
Great.
not in the best community at all. The only time my communities look good is when I'm in a corporate meeting. But when it comes
Yeah.
when it comes to the families I'm serving, it's always in the underserved families, and I'm always in the trenches.
Praise be to Allah. And my sister Naima says Assalamu alaikum. And I
Right.
just wanted to and your family for what you do because we need more of us in those type of communities in the inner cities and in the trenches, as you say, to help with the spirit and the love that that we've been taught. So we appreciate that.
Thank you.
My next question is: you said Islam is heavily influenced in the Tampa area. Tampa's been influenced by Islam. When did you first hear the teachings of the Most High Elijah Muhammad?
Wow. Well, my dad is a registered Muslim. I would
Mm.
say I was always influenced by Islam. I am a product of co-parenting. My mom was Christian. My mother's side was Pentecostal, saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost. My grandmother, my grandmother was an evangelist. My aunts were missionaries and prophetess in the Pentecostal church. So whenever I would whenever time I would see my father, he would always drop jewels on me. The supreme wisdom, the teachings, quotes from the minister, and things like that. And when he would visit me, he would leave every week. He would visit me, he would leave a final call. So I never knew then what that impact would have on my life until one day I knew I know I was like 19 and I just started waking up. I had this awakening within me where I just started reading um books by certain author. I remember the first book I read on my own without him giving it to me were the Browder Files. um
Mm.
and because he would always give me books to read, he would always give me articles to read. So that was my first introduction to the Nation of Islam and Minister Farrakhan and Honorable Elijah Muhammad was through my father, growing up as a teenager.
Praise be to Allah. And in the city, what city were you living in at this time?
I was in Miami.
Okay, in Miami, yes, ma'am. And in a city like Miami, what made you accept the teachings once you, like when you finally accepted them, what made you accept them?
I didn't accept the teachers until I left to go to school, and that wasn't until I was like 21. Yeah, I was away from home then. So I wasn't, I guess, still being influenced by my father. I still ran into Muslims there in that city in Albany, Georgia. And that's when I came into the nation. That's when I processed under Brother
Yes.
Marcus and Sister Cecilia and all the believers there in Albany.
Okay, okay, yes, ma'am. Praise be to Allah. And what college did you go to in Albany?
Well, I attended Albany Technical College, and that's where I got my education in marketing management.
Beautiful. Okay, in Albany, I never knew that. Okay, because ever since thought you were from Florida. Okay, so boom, right in Albany. Praise be to Allah. Yes, ma'am. What advice would you give to future mothers?
Future moms, to future moms, mothering definitely never ends. And I remember talking to your mom once at a Vanguard retreat. I was like, I don't know what to do. I told her, I was like, what happens when your children become teenagers? Because I honestly didn't, and this was the dilemma I was having at the time. When we are pregnant, we have so much information. We are excited about the pregnancy. We're reading books on pregnancy and how the baby is developing and what's going to happen when the baby is 1 month, 2 months, and all of that. But once they become teenagers, it's like we forget that the child changes, they change. There's nothing that prepares us for that change. And your mother was like, yeah, they turn into, their head just spins. She was like, they the head just spin, they turn into somebody you don't even know. And she just started teaching us how to deal with teenagers. And I went back home to deal with my teenage girls at that moment. But it's going to take patience. And definitely I would tell moms this, and this is actually this is what I had to deal with and how I got through parenting. It was easy when they are adolescents, but I would say I definitely had to depend on the village. I thank God, I thank Allah for the MGT and GCC. Sister Wanda, everybody knows Sister Wanda in the 7th region here in
Yes,
Tampa.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
You have to, if you have the village, if you have a support system. Sometimes, when you just are not equipped to deal with certain things, you just need a break. So don't be afraid. If you have the trust, depend on your village, call on your village. It's not about being afraid to let people in and know what's going on. Sometimes you can't fix all your problems. If you have a sisterhood there for you, allow your sisterhood to come in. Like I say, I'm an auntie to a lot of youth. So a lot of times they'll reach out to me and not reach out to their own mom. But just know I'm always my sister first. I'm my sisters first. And I'm a Muslim first. So as a mother, and this is where our community comes in handy, because before I depend on anyone outside of us, I'm definitely going to reach back to us first and see if we have a solution before I go anywhere else.
Praise be to Allah. Beautiful. And people are in the comments giving you the greetings. I want to give you a chance Shantae, to work on your volume on your phone because your Christmas ringtone keeps going off. All right. They're definitely making reference to that. Thank you, Shantae. What advice would you give to future wives?
Um, because I am not a wife,
Mhm.
I am single at the moment. I would just say be patient. I would say, as a single sister, I am definitely finding my peace with myself. enjoying my self-care, having been married before, um, learning from that moment, thanking Allah for the lessons. But as a single sister, definitely learn to get your relationship with Allah in order, and enjoy your time as a single sister and prepare yourself for marriage. And that is knowing who you are, whose you are, and enjoy your self care so that will prepare you to care for your future husband. Because if you don't know how to enjoy your self care and care for yourself and love yourself first, um, that is going to be hard to give someone that time as a husband. So when you see me say I'm loving myself first, I mean that with my whole heart.
Praise be to Allah. And you were as you referred to told me offline a sugar mom, like you don't like to be called grandmother, call yourself Gigi a sugar mother. How has being a sugar mother or grandmother impacted you?
Well, I am a very excited, very loving. Well, I just say this. I don't do I look like somebody's grandma? I'm just playing.
Sis Shonta, what's
Oh
going
my God. Okay. So, yes, my son had a child. So, I am officially a grandma. And
Yes, ma'am.
I enjoy my baby. He stayed with us for 4 months during the quarantine. And even now, if he comes over, he doesn't want to go home. He knows when it's time to go home. The dilemma is when he's over here and I get him dressed. eh, First of all, my youngest child is 21. So this is his
Hmm.
baby. This is his baby. I have a baby so much, people think it's my baby. They'll go, "Where's your baby? Where's your baby?" I'm like, so when it's time for him to go home, I would get him dressed, get him packed, and if I run upstairs to do something else, I come downstairs. He has taken off and hidden his shoes, his socks, his pants. He's hidden in the closet, the cupboards, or something. He'll go, "I don't want to go." So he really doesn't want to go. This is my life right now
Yes, ma'am.
on a weekend. So I am sugar mama because that's my sugar baby. And he calls me that. So if you all see me with a little person, that is not my child.
Yes, ma'am.
Because brothers tend to that's brother repellent when they see some sisters with small children. Like, is she married? Did she have a baby? No,
Uh,
he's just that's my baby, but that's my son's child.
Praise be to Allah. Thank you all for watching the People's Podcast as well. And I'm thinking about all the people right now who I know that are in the Tampa area, who I just can't wait to tell people that I didn't know that's what your profession was, that we can help people get some jobs. My next question is, what do you do for fun, ma'am?
What do I do for fun? I love self-care. I love consulting with other women. I have a tribe of women who I help build and encourage all the time. And we definitely meet once a month and we help encourage other girls. Um, I'm very you've talked to me for a few weeks, so you already know how funny I act. So um I don't go out much due to COVID. So I've had to try to learn new things. So prior to COVID, I had activities that I did participate in. So I've had to try to learn something different. I was trying to get into gardening, but I saw a snake outside. So I haven't been in my backyard in weeks. That's not happening. So if you all have ideas, please send them to me. So right now, I'm just enjoying group things with other women, just trying to create a new initiative with the young girls here in the new city that I just purchased my house in. So just look out for that. So just building new relationships with women. I enjoy building up women.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, ma'am. Sister Tracy said there's nothing like the sisterhood. And Sister Asmeja says you have such a beautiful glow, sis.
Thank you. Praise be to Allah.
And Sister Tracy said you can garden indoors. LOL. Yes,
Hey,
ma'am.
Sister Tracy.
Yes, sir. Okay, now before we go, I have two more questions for you. Sister Shante, because I want to ask about when I knew you always had a Vanguard uniform on, so I want to ask about, give us your favorite Vanguard story. But before we do that, I want to make sure I give a special shout out to all of the sponsors of this podcast and this month's podcast. Uh, thank you very much. You can cash app the People's Podcast to make your donation. Thank you very much. 1 second. This month we have some amazing guests coming up. I can't wait to announce some of these guests some more amazing guests coming up this month before we close out in the season. Shout out to my brother Rashad, Street Premier Media Production, 4K camera. He has a drone, and they're working on television and video editing. Shout out to Street Premier Media Production. My sister Miriam, ABC I Love Me, coloring book and children's book, both of which are on Amazon. Thank you very much, Mimi. My sister Naima, Stay on Point Dance Academy, LLC. She's teaching ballet to young girls virtually all across the country. Thank you very much, Naima. Supreme Men's and Boys Urban Wear, our brother in St. Louis. He will keep you fresh with some good clothes, ship them to you all across the country. Thank you very much, sir. Sister Tia Muhammad, Raising Black Millionaires. She teaches economic empowerment and development to young Black children all across the country using flashcards, and she does an amazing job. Brother Kenneth Muhammad, bow tie maker extraordinaire. If you need some bow ties made, please, Brother Kenneth will ship them right out to you. Brother Todd X McGraw, Supreme Team Insurance Group. If you need some great insurance, reach out to Brother Todd X McGraw. Coming right back to you, Sister Shante. Brother Chantel X, the X and Express. He specializes in refrigeration, and he hires truck drivers where you get paid very well weekly. Brother Jabbar Muhammad out of Chicago, as well as the Memphis area, Client First Construction, painting, carpentry, flooring, and plumbing. If you are in the Chicago area or in the Memphis area, please reach out to Jabbar Muhammad, the president. Sister Landra El Muhammad, Navy Beans More Than Bean Pies. Thank you very much, Sister Landra El Muhammad. Make sure we support her. Dr. Henry M. Carter, King Henry's Turkey Legs, right here in Atlanta, Georgia. If you need some turkey legs, reach out to him. Brother Rashad Muhammad, COVID-19 disinfecting cleaning service in the Chicago area. Reach out to him. My father's book, A Soldier in the Movement of Christ, AbdulSharif.com. And last but not least, my two books, Cleopatra, which is on Amazon, and No Father, No Excuse, which is on Amazon as well. All right, right back to you, Sister Shante. Boom. And Sister Melba Muhammad said, this is awesome. Welcome, Brother Victor P. Shout out to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers who won today, by the way. And Sister Love It, always showing love. Thank you. And Sister Melba said, this is awesome. Thank you, Sister Melba. Okay, now, Sister Shante, you were a top Vanguard in 7th region, and I always saw you in your Vanguard uniforms holding it down. What is your favorite memory of being a Vanguard during that time period, and what advice would you give to the young Vanguard coming up now?
Wow. I have so many Vanguard memories, and I am humbled for the training that I have received in the Vanguard class. Um, I definitely want to thank the minister for the opportunity and Mother Khadijah for always having her hand on us in that awesome design of that uniform, because wearing that uniform to me was just more than a uniform. It was an honor and it was a blessing to even be in the uniform. When we came into class, we had to earn it. And I believe my best memory of being in the Vanguard class was we wore, not that we aren't now, but we were definitely soldiers for a lie. It meant something to us to actually be in the work, and I want to make sure I say the words properly and correctly. Coming to the Maz was just not showing up to the Maz. We were dedicated to the work. We had consequences for, not um performing or being underperformers. So when you say top soldier, if you saw a sister, and it and that's an honor for you to even put me in that category, because I didn't even know I was that. So if a sister was considered a top soldier among soldiers, she is indeed that, because we had such a bar, something that we were striving for. We were always striving for, you know, not just perfection, but to be great. And we weren't doing it to be seen. We did it because we loved the work. And what I loved about the Vanguard is it was, I didn't, it was something I look forward to. It wasn't a chore to get up and get ready to go to the mosque. It wasn't a chore to get up and get ready to go to class. It was something, it was a part of my actual life. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
And
Yes, ma'am.
there were many days after our retreats that I would be sore as all outdoors. My body would be aching. I can't tell you. So I'm trying to say without giving away too much intel. But I would say my favorite part of the Vanguard is I have made sisters and friends for life. Sisters and friends for life. I could probably go in any city, and from the time I have been in the class, from the time I was registered, I would say from 1997, I have met sisters who I am still friends with, and I love them dearly, and I thank Allah for them. That is my favorite part of the Vanguard. Not that I don't have those sisters in the MGT, but being in the Vanguard class, we have literally been on the front line together. Every event, cry together, sweat together, soldier together, and it's a different type of training. um so that is my favorite part, just doing the work shoulder to shoulder, side by side with sisters every event. It's different today than it was then, because it was just, it's more, although we are in the modern times now, back then it just took a whole lot of maneuvering and logistics to get from one city to the next. So when we saw each other, because social media wasn't there, so now when we're getting ready for events, we're preparing for that. We see each other every day on social media. Then in the late 90s and 2000s, it's like we see each other at the next event. We don't really see each other every day. So when we saw each other, it was definitely our love. We know each other now based on that work we did then. So I have true family for life. I have friendships now that I have spanned over the 20 something years that I have been registered. And if we pick up the phone and talk, and we haven't talked in a couple of months or a year, we it's like we just talked yesterday.
Praise
So
the
it
Lord.
hasn't lost a thing. So those are my memories in the Vanguard. I cannot tell you other things.
Yes, ma'am. I understand. What advice would you give to young sisters coming up now?
Um, to our current Vanguard, I would say you definitely are blessed to be in a class that is definitely a supreme place to be. You could be anywhere. There are other classes, and I tell everyone this. You can be an AKA, a Delta, a Zeta, you could be an Eastern Star, but there is no one else that has the training in the hands of God involved other than the MGT and GCC Vanguard class. So when you are among that class, just know it is intentional and it is by design. So do not take your training for granted at all. It will all be needed. There is nothing that I do today, the influence or impact that I am trying to have on the community, that the Vanguard training that I have received, that I do not have, that I don't use today. Everything that I do today, my Vanguard training is being used in it. So don't take your training for granted.
Praise be to Allah. Beautiful. What is your, and thank you all for continuing to watch People's Podcast. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment on YouTube. And what is your favorite album of all time, Sister Shonta?
My favorite album of all times is Lauryn Hill, The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. I can sing that song from front to back, first song to last song.
Okay, okay. That's probably the most said album by any woman that ever comes on the podcast. I'm already expecting it. I'm already like Lauryn Hill.
And I
Lauryn
say
Hill.
because she never made, I mean, she has the unplugged, but she's still living off that album. She never even made any other album. That is just how awesome she is. In the words of the culture, she's still eating off that album. That's just how like she never even came to put out a new album, and people, and it's still the same price. It's not even in the $5 bin. It's still, you know, if you're buying CDs, it's still $13 and $14 for that CD.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
give her respect.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And Isaiah says all praises to Allah. And what would you like your legacy to be, ma'am?
um that's okay. If I should be remembered, I would love to be remembered for being uh just a loving mom, a great mother to my children. I'm always in uh the process of atonement. I'm always trying to, even now that my oldest child is 31 and my youngest is 21, parenting for me is on a whole nother season. So
Mm,
although they are adults, they still need guidance. And I've always, since being with Islam, I've always tried to be the type of mother that I never had, because my mom wasn't an MGT. So I have to thank the Honorable Elijah Muhammad for the MGT and GCC class, because I feel like, well, I know that that is what changed the direction and trajectory of the life of my children. So if I am to be remembered for anything, I want to be remembered for having an impact and influence on the lives of my children. And with that being said, the children that come around me, hopefully I have had an influence on their lives as well.
praise be to Allah. And well, on that perfect note, I want to thank you for your sacrifice. Thank your family for the sacrifice that they've made. And thank you for just always being an uplifting spirit to me and my family. And every time we see you, always smiling and showing us nothing but love. Sister Tracy says she doesn't look old enough to have a 31-year-old blessed. Praise be to Allah.
Praise
A
be
lot
to
of black girl magic. They're saying that you aging like Lauryn Hill's album is just you just keep it's just great magic. Black women, black sisters, MGT, all of the good snaps and all of that excellent stuff they show you love in the
God.
comments.
Oh, and I'm not even 50, so just know that.
Thank you, Sis Shonta. My goodness. I want to
Guys, thank you for having me on your podcast. I appreciate the invitation.
yes, ma'am. Thank you all for watching the People's Podcast. Please like, share, and subscribe. May Allah bless you, Sis Shonta. Continue to bless you and your family. And thank
Thank
you all for watching. Assalamu alaikum, ma'am.
you. Alaikum salam.